Hello, good morning, and happy Friday, finally. I feel like it's always a finally for a Friday. End of the week, uh, about to have the weekend. It's always nice. We're continuing to work on the bookstore API. We completed a few tests, I think, last time, and we're on to update an author today. So yesterday we had a discussion on stream, and then I continued it on Discord a little bit afterwards on HTTP status codes. So there had been there was a question about like what should be no content be. No content as in not no content. Not found content. Like as in the content in the database is not found. And there was some questions like, should it be a 204, no content? Should it be a 404, or should it be just a 200 with a custom code? We ended up going with a 200 with a custom code. Looking through the specs, 204 doesn't seem to make sense. That's literally no content. That actually is going to be what potentially an update would be, where if I update something, I mutate the database, I don't return anything back, that would be no content. Something happens, but I'm not going to give you anything in return. Go ahead and update your front end based upon what you yourself have updated. 404 specifically does mean that according to the URL, there is nothing to return. And that means either we cannot return it because it literally does not exist, or we don't want to return it, or we don't want to admit that it exists. Any of those things can be truthful. So because of that, it does sound like 404, the 404 or 200 with a custom error is the way to go for it. The problem obviously being that 404 causes an error, and so you have to handle that properly. So that's just one of those. That's one of those like your choices. If you're building the API and you want to just always have a 200 if it's successful, regardless of whether it finds it, then obviously 200 with a custom error. So that's where we're standing. I'm going to continue with the 200 custom error for that type of thing, but we're going to do a 204 for update an author. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So update. Well, first of all, I'm going to need to create an author. And I did that. Yeah, we could create a new random. Basically, I just need this. So if I do that, that will give me a new author, and I'll know exactly what this author is. So after this point, we have the new author. We can go ahead and update it in some way. And we have a get author too. So we can then just go ahead and do a get on it after I do an update, and there we'll be able to verify that everything is sort of what we expect. Let's go ahead and set this to be mutable. What should we update? New author. Why do you not have the fields at the top? We just have name. That's the only thing we can do. Ooh. So I have new random. that changes this name, so maybe I want also like to change name. Ooh, I don't actually want to return anything, do I? Okay, so we get a new author, we create an author from that. I want to then change the name, and now I want to do the entire URL thing again. So I do need the ID. So I need to get the ID back. I think I can get that back through. Yeah, okay, so I get the author back through this. So I do need to extract out. Okay, so okay, so I get the author. Okay, created author equals response, response object author, and then get the data, unwrap that. I change the new author name. We want to update author, and then you're gonna be. Okay, give me the ID. I guess there's the response again. We can shadow that. We're gonna do okay, so for update, we have their choices of put and patch. If it's a put, it's the entire thing is being replaced. If it's patch, only a part of it is being replaced. We have our choice. Now, in this case, there's only a single thing to update, which would be the name. And we could probably like get into semantics of like, hey, the ID is not being updated, so that's not really a put, but that's also not something I'm going to allow to be updated by a client. So of the things that can be updated, name is the only one. So I think a put, according to my definition, is gonna work for that. We can test both of them, but I don't think it really matters that much. Okay, so put, I want set the update URL. I just want, we don't need that previous URL anymore. I can just shadow it. Okay, so let's send in the new author again, which you need to be a reference. Dota, hello. How are you doing today? Glad the week's over. I know. I'm right there with you. I'm glad this week's over too. Well, okay, almost over. I have it's the beginning of Friday for me. So I have all day Friday and then the weekend. Your feature didn't ship and you broke the website. Wasn't that strong week? Oh, I'm sorry about that. That sucks. How long how long was it broken for? Hopefully not very long, right? Stacking, hello. Happy Friday. It was broken for 8% of users. Well, depending upon your user base, that's either well, I guess no matter what, there's gonna be a not good to that, isn't there? Even if the user base is really small, it's just not good that you have a small user base. So I'm sorry. It sucks. All of us have these stories, don't we? It was a caching issue. Oh, those are the worst. They're so hard to detect, too. I absolutely hate also when I have to tell the customer support teams, okay, time to go and tell all the customers, oops, we're sorry, please hard refresh your browsers because we accidentally cached something and we can't do anything about it now because of, reasons. Coffee drinker, hello, happy Friday. How are you doing today? You fixed the backend problems, that's good. But if it's cached, it doesn't matter if you fixed it, right? Because customers will still get the cached version or something. You had to make it backwards compatible. Yeah. Oh, so you were making you were making you were doing an update that was a breaking change. It was the version of JavaScript they were running on their browser. Oh, interesting. So I am super lucky at my at the clients that we have at my company. Version of the app that you should say. Okay, so not version of JavaScript. Version of the app. I am super lucky at my company. We have because we're not going for like any user on the internet. It's like people we sold to. Part of our contract with them is that they have the latest version of browsers. In fact, not just latest version of browsers, that they only use Chrome on their systems. And so all I have to worry about is Chrome on Windows, Chrome on Mac, and I suppose Chrome on Linux. Although looking at our metrics, the only people using Linux is like maybe a couple of their IT staff that aren't actually using the app and us. So it's I really only have to worry about Mac and mostly Windows, which is super nice. The version 1 of the front end uses the old one, and version 2 uses the new one. Hard refresh puts you on version 2, but the old one still works. Yeah, that... I wonder, can you detect that with red-green deployments? Probably not, right? I don't think you could. I don't think you can detect and fix that, like handle it with red green deployments, because that's all server side. it's still attempting to send everybody to the front end. Mac OS is Linux with tweaks. Livio? Hello, welcome. Good morning. Only thing I would say with Mac OS is Linux. I would say it's more like Mac OS is Unix with tweaks. But of course, like the difference between Unix and Linux is only something that geeks would argue about. So that being said, I was a system administrator, so I would have been one of those people that argued about it for a long time. I don't have time anymore, so I don't bother caring about it. You could have gotten it from logging. Do you have anything like do you have any logging on that? We set up logging on all of our systems for that. Plus we have we started using Sentry at work, and it's pretty amazing. We can get all the console logs and everything else for our errors, which is really nice. And I have it going into Slack, so we get like instantaneous notifications when things start going wrong. Oh, they lost the certification for Mac? Oh, okay. For Mac OS was certified Unix for a long time, but they lost their certification. I guess I probably stopped paying attention before that happened. I think he actually figured out what the cache browsers were requesting from the telemetry. Okay, that makes sense. Because when I was using, I set up Sentry, and I was really impressed with the data that we get from that. Okay, you're not like super great at the searching yet. So with I don't have Sentry set up like for my site here, so I can't like show any of this off, unfortunately. But they have some replay abilities now. We have the cheapest version at work. They still give us replays on that, just not very many. We set it up so that every time there's an error, you get a replay, and it will show the console logs when it happens. So you can see, okay, they load the app, they do something, we'll know like, ooh, they clicked on that button over there. That means that they hit this API, and oh, it immediately got this error. Oh, the error is saying not found. Ooh, okay. We know exactly what's going on, and we can put a fix in immediately. So that's been really nice. Like, we don't even have to search the logs. We just have to watch the replay for like one of the systems, and we'll know exactly what's going on. There's a recent version like 11.0 or something. That's why they had to remove bash. Oh, that's the reason. Okay, that is very recent. Yeah. I would have been all on top of that had I still been a sysadmin at that time. But I stopped being a sysadmin in 2014. That's when I switched over to software dev. Our labs are fully searchable, similar to SQL. I love that you spelled out SQL too. And you can generate graphs and dashboards. That's always really nice. I love the graphs and dashboards, especially because you can use some of those for informing management and other teams, various business data type stuff. It basically gives us as developers the ability to actually communicate at the same level as everybody else. You want a dashboard of 404s and 500s for prod? I mean, there's no reason you can't do that, right? Like, if you send information about those going back to your server, then you'll get those. And you can make them live. So you can just have like a live view of it. only reason no time to make one. So this is something that I did. I guess it's not really I did. My coworker did, and I helped like find good time for it for everybody. We basically set up they set up a time for their team. They set up a what we called a null ref time, which was, hey, between the ending of sprint A and the beginning of sprint B, we're going like there's nothing to do. So null ref, do whatever you want, and like the reports of it just go into just go away. Nobody knows what you're working on, but work on your own stuff. And so I basically help them find time for it across all the teams. And so we basically ended up giving a full day every 2 weeks for everybody to either work together or to work solo on something. And then eventually we started, so that null ref ended up being a Friday every 2 weeks. And then on Monday, we would do null ref report time, where it's like, hey, show off what you did with null ref. And we'd all get together, and people from like sales started showing up because people started doing interesting, fun things. It was really interesting and really nice way to like sort of give accolades to individual developers because they were doing fun stuff that normally you wouldn't see them do. Yeah, assuming you finish the task within sprint time. So that was one of our my boss, the CTO. He basically made it his goal that he reported to the CEO, saying, did everybody finish their sprints? And so he then went to the teams and said, hey, I'm reporting this to the really high level people. You have to finish your sprints now. Like, it's not an option. And so then it was like, well, do we need to work overtime? He's like, no, just stop overloading your sprint. Just don't overload your sprint and you'll be fine. And so that event, it took a surprising amount of time to convince the developers to stop adding like double the amount of tickets that they could handle into their sprints. And it's like, oh, we can do, like, it feels so much better now. It's like, yes, that's exactly what we've been trying to say. So, the problem was our eyes were bigger than our capacity was. It's like, oh yeah, we can totally do all of those things. Where it's like, okay, no, you can't do that. And I know it sucks that I'm telling you can't do that, but as your manager, you can't do that. You haven't done that for the last 3 sprints. This isn't I need you to work more. This is I need you to be smarter at sprint replenishment time. So let's just not overload our sprints. And ironically, at least as far as they're concerned, we end up doing more because when you're not overloaded, you're calmer. Things are a little bit nicer. You're not rushing yourself. When you don't rush yourself, you don't make mistakes. You tend to finish your tickets faster, and so you load more things in, but only as an unneeded basis. So, oh hey, we finished all the tickets in the to-do column. Okay, let's just pull some more from backlog. All right, let's do that. And then we end up getting more done. I'm a huge fan of doing that. It's those are all little hacks for productivity. It's and as a manager, my job is just to make sure that nobody from outside the team bats an eye on like, hey, they have less stuff and to do than like, they did last month. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Don't worry about it. We like to underestimate how long things will take. I could do that an hour. Takes 1 day. It took me a long time to convince everybody, for like when we were doing the point systems, to convince everybody to stop thinking in terms of time and start thinking in terms of complexity, because that time thing, we are terrible at it as humans. Just we are absolutely garbage at estimating time. We have stretch goals and committed are all supposed to be finished. So I'm a big fan of not having stretch goals. Of just, these are goals. That's it. Everything on the board is going to get done. And therefore, let's not put too much on the board. It's hard though, got to make sure to split the tickets up so people can see work is progressing, etc. It's just a good idea for your continuous argument not to get fired. I guess like I joke like that with that sometimes the team members until they sort of figure it out, as just ways to get everybody to like move with the style that I want them to move with. But generally speaking, small points means that you start seeing work done a little bit faster. You don't have really large pull requests. You then, because you don't have really large pull requests, things can move through the system faster. Moving through the faster means that you find problems faster, which means that you fix them faster, potentially before they even get to production. And like everything is better. Everything runs smoother. It's all about flow. And it's really shocking to me how often we, as like, I don't know, developers, like highly productive people, talk about flow, but not like continuing to have the discussion at the system level. We only talk about it like, oh yeah, we're flowing. I'm working really hard. And it's like, okay, that's great. You're working a lot. You haven't deployed to production in 3 days. Come on. Let's fix that. You see it through the manager's eyes, though. From my point of view, I'm still working 40-hour weeks. The same amount of work gets done. The only difference is management can now recognize what got completed. My one of the things that I'm really like invested in is change the metrics around. The amount that somebody works has nothing to do with whether or not customers are happy. Any value is being provided. Like if all the developers work 40-hour weeks, but nothing like value isn't delivered, like actual true value isn't delivered to the customer, then that's 40 hours that you might as well have been on vacation. I think that's something the pairing ensemble has upped your hours worked. That's also that's a dangerous side of pairing. It can cause overwork by accident. I've noticed that. It's there's a danger to that. It's also like a danger to like the entire passion thing that a lot of people like to talk about. Is okay, you're like super passionate about the job. If you get somebody who is really actually passionate about the job, they don't want to stop working on it because they're friggin' passionate about the job. It's fun and it's awesome and it's great to work on it. And now they're gonna burn out in like 2 months because of like how awesome and amazing everything is, and it hides the pain. And so as I have found that if you do a good job as a manager, you spend more time trying to get people not to work than you try to get them to work. It's really, really, really interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, Dota. The fact that you can say that you know the downsides of passion is indicative of that exact problem. I know exactly that problem too. I've been there. I think a lot of us have been there. Oh, you're okay. Well, have fun. Okay, so yep, I'm totally understand. All right. So we have, okay. So what do? I do a put. That's happened. So supposedly it's happened now. I get the response. So I get the status. That should be a no content. That's a 204 because I'm not returning anything back with that. And then what do? I do. I do. Oh, I want to check to see if things are okay. So we want to do another URL. And I think we have a get one, right? Yeah, so get one author in our book. So we might as well get. So I'm going to do all of this again. Just want this URL. Okay, so author ID. This will be the created author. Created author. Okay, so we'll get the ID out of there. We get the URL. I still have the client, so I want to do another get. Okay, so request get URL. We'll send. Oh, that doesn't have a send, right? Yeah. Okay, so it gives me the response, and then I want to get the JSON from that, which maybe I can just do. Response object author. We wait, we do that. Okay, so that gives me response object author, and then I want the data out of that. So this is the author after update. And now I want to oh, it's an option. So it absolutely should exist, so we can unwrap this. Okay, so that exists. Okay, so author after update, and then I should be able to. I should be able to compare these two, right? So I have author and author. So I can do a. I want to assert equal. Oh, I don't know if I can assert equal for this. Maybe I can. So we want to assert equal that the names, right? So it'd be new author dot name is now equal to author after update dot name. I don't really care about anything else. What are you upset about? Did I move you? Oh, it's private. Okay, and that's that. All right, so you should all fail. Missing field status. Why are you missing a field status? Oh, because created author response. Oh, is just returning this JSON here. Okay. Let's we can do a little bit of a rewrite for some of the testing stuff. I'm thinking about taking some of these things and throwing them into the helper object we have, so we don't have to do quite as much stuff in here. I think it's going to be a little bit more helpful. So we have new random, we have change name. So if I do like pub function create save, oh, and this would be asynchronous. I don't necessarily need, so I can update you. Okay, so if I update you, I want, so this is, I want like the saves, like the API version. So the saved, it's gonna have to be an option with the response object. What? Yeah, response object. Where does that come from? Oh, come on. I was like hitting every key other than definition. That is in. Okay, so source types mod. Nope, not that. Yeah, like that. Okay. That's what I want. Response object. Ooh, and then what comes there? JSON serialize. That wouldn't be self, would it? I can't do self because that will be an infinite loop. Well, that's too bad. Okay, I was really hoping that I would do that. I don't think I can save that inside there. So we're gonna have to return from this the response object. And then inside of here will be self. Oh, but it's not self, is it? This is, oh, okay. Wait, no one. I could do it again. This is exactly how I do develop stuff. It's like I keep on remembering, oh yeah, I can do that type of stuff. I set all that up. The type isn't here. It's not self that I'm sending in. This is author, which is that one. That's what's being saved in here. Okay, so in save, we're going to first create the URL. And so this is, I can basically move the base URL in here now. And then I want to do the post so we get the client. We're gonna send the JSON is okay. So now the JSON. That needs to be this name here. So again, I can't do self unless I exclude it. There's a way to exclude something in JSON, right? Or sorry, in Serde. They have like an entire book, don't they? Yeah. Oh, S is sidebar, not search? Oh. Wait, do they not have a search? Oh. Well, that's too bad. Okay, so I want field attributes. Skip this field. Do not serialize or deserialize it. This is what I want. Okay, so Serde skip saved, which means that it's only get the name. So I can send now self with this. And then I want to store saved inside of that, right? So we get that. I want to now get the JSON. I guess before I get the JSON, I consume everything. Let's let response equals that. We can assert that the status is what we expect it to be. Okay, so you should be at 2.0.2.1. I think assert will crash with that, so I think that's fine. Why are you upset? Format argument must be a string literal. Oh, yeah. How did I... Okay, you're fine there. Okay, so make sure you get that. Then we get the response. Now I should be able to get the response object. Now we should be able to do saved equals response. We'll get JSON. Wait, question mark u. And then it should know what type that is. So that should be fine. What are you upset about? Oh, let's see. You're saved. Expected a semi. Oh yeah, semicolon. There we go. Okay, so this should work. Which means all of you get the database. Okay, so we want to not everything yet. So we get the new author like that. You need to be mutable. And then we do new author. So we save you. Wait and question mark you. Okay, so we new author, we save you. We get a database connection. I don't need to assert equal that anymore. I don't need to get that. We already have that. Author and DB. Okay, so then I get the author in the DB. And then I assert equal that the author in DB is the same as the new author. Save. Can I find value create? Oh, right, because this is now new author saved unwrap u.id. No field ID on type. Oh, right, because it's like dot data. It's like then dot unwrap. Oh, no. Unwrap again. Oh, it's so much fun. Well, I saved a lot of lines for a lot of fun. I think it's better because now when I go to create new authors again for other purposes, I just have to create new author and hit save. And this is the only time I have to go to the database. So we just made this entire test a lot faster. Okay, so saved unwrap.data. And then, use some moved value. So I want saved. I want to clone you. Author, is response object doesn't implement clone, does it? Let's fix that. You don't satisfy clone response. Why don't you satisfy? The JSON doesn't satisfy clone, so we can fix that with. So everywhere we have this. Okay, so the generic needs to do serialize and clone. Thought that would have been okay. Oh, I think I have other issues with this. This is gonna be fine. Today is gonna be a rewrite stuff day, apparently. Okay, so you're happy as a test. So good for you. Okay, so that's create author. Get one author with their books. So what I want to do for that is do a get one. Now this is a create author, isn't it? So it's not exactly the same. Ooh, I guess, you know what? For create author, we can do something like get, instead of like new from new random, I could do new, so pub function new from DB, like new get essentially from API. We will take in an ID, which is I32. You need to be asynchronous. Okay, so if we have that, let's head back to here. So we'll do I guess if I just grab all of this, we'll yank it out and we'll figure it out after the fact. Okay, so we have the author ID with that ID. I might as well rename that to author ID. Okay, URL. We set the URL up with this. We get the response with that. We get the status. We assert the status is okay. Okay, author response. Okay, so then we get the author with this response here like that. And we get the data. So I don't necessarily want the data here. I want the response object. Okay, so I want the response object with the author. So this is really saved, right? I don't need the expected author like this. I want saved. Return self. Okay, so name is going to be, let's actually get the name out of here. So saved dot data unwrap name clone. Ooh, I bet I need a clone. I'm gonna need a clone here too. Or as ref. Probably as ref there, so I get a reference. so name. And then saved is a sum saved. Okay, so that's I now can do new get from API. This is going to be an author. New get from API, and I want 2. Now this author is the one we got, so we have access to that. We have the expected author there, and we insert author, and then you're going to be author not saved. Oh, I need a. Okay, saved, unwrap, data, unwrap. Okay, that test is fairly simple now. All right, get all authors in their books. So same thing. I want get all authors now inside of here. Now that's going to be slightly different, right? Because this is a single author. So now I want a new type for all authors. Do I want to do that, or probably? So if I have all authors, and so we have, it's a vec of, what do we have here? It's the author. Oh, it's a create author. I don't know if there's any value in this. Okay, so this is URL response to get all the things, do the status code. I'm getting all the things. I mean, so maybe we can leave this one alone. It's a fairly large test, but most of that is determining what this expected authors is going to be. So I might be okay here. Update an author. Okay, so this is where we get fun again, right? So I want to create a new author. So it's new random. New author. Ooh, a new author. I changed the name. Wait a second. New random, and then I save it, right? So new author, and I save. Then I change the name, and I want to save again. Ooh, but if I'm doing a save, this is creating a new one, but really I want this to do an update. Oh, so I want probably I could just do an update. I don't have to be clever. It's Hub async. So let's just rename this to be a little bit better. So instead of, hold on. You have things that let me change stuff, don't you? Yeah, rename symbol. Okay, so hold on. So let's rewrite that. Let's make sure we write everything. So I have save there. I want to rename symbol. So rename to, instead of save, let's do this as create create in API. And we'll write all again. Twisted Seed, hello. And also Temporis, hello. How are you both doing? Happy Friday. And so you're going to be update in API. You ready for the end of the day? It's just not here yet. How long for it is you? Like, obviously my Friday is just starting. Ooh, so I want the ID. Okay, so I get saved. Might as well just do a bunch of unwraps. To get that, now I can use like that. 2 more hours? Okay, well that's not too bad. That's close enough. 2 hours on a Friday. That's usually time that I would expect that the teams are sort of like, you're ready for the end of the day. If you take enough Benadryl, it could be anyone's end of the day. Also, joke, don't do that. Yeah, drugs are not a good way to like end a Friday. Cause then, like, I don't know. If for me, it like then makes my sleep not very well, and then the weekend's ruined. It's not good. The 2 hours left on a Friday are the longest 2 hours of the week. My solution is try to put something fun on like in that time. You already checked half a bottle before you got to the end of the sentence. Oops. Yeah, that'd be a super groggy Saturday. That's the worst. The absolute worst thing is you get to a weekend, you're super excited about it, you stay up late on Friday, like, having fun, and then you lose half of Saturday. The other half, then you have to do chores and other stuff, so which means that you're up late, which means Sunday is groggy. And then by the next thing you know, it's Monday already? I didn't do anything fun on the weekend. And it's it just feels weird that you have to be really strategic about weekend. Otherwise, you end up not having fun and weekend's over. It sucks. Okay, so update an API, we do that. I get the URL. I want to do just burn a house down and burn your previously bought weekend preparation house, minimal chores. So when assuming that the entire course system is going to be wildly successful beyond anybody's dreams, and I get billions of dollars of annual income, that's I mean, that's a good thing to assume, right? Then in that case, we'll go ahead and do that. I'll just burn a house down every weekend. That way I could just move into a new house on Monday every day. Seems like an appropriate business decision, right? Author ID URL. It'll also give the local fire department something to do. I mean, the house builders, like I'll be keeping that entire industry working. I'll probably end up just making a company for that. For like building houses that I burn down. And then selling those, like I guess that's how you can get into the real estate business. My insurance premiums would probably skyrocket. So I'll need to create an insurance company too. My target audience will be people, like super rich people who want to burn their house down every week. How many weeks does it take to build a house, get that many plots, and rotate like farmer rotates fields? I mean, this is like the perfect idea. I have no idea how long it takes to house. So like, I don't know, 5 houses, something like that. I mean, if I'm really burning down a house, do I really need that interesting of a house? Like, it could just be a shack at that point in time. Maybe I'll just get a tent. I'll just get like 2 plots. Just put up a shed over there. Make it balsa wood so it burns really nicely. Okay, what that completely derailed my brain for this. Okay, update an API. Okay, so we have the URL here. I want to send off an update so that I need the client. Right, we're gonna do a put, and I'm going to put with a change to self. Okay, so we're gonna do a put to URL. We're gonna hand in JSON, which is a reference to self. Okay, so we're gonna get that. And then I want this to be the no response. No content. After we get the status back, oh, if there's no content, okay, so I do need to update the internal thing. Oh, well, I just won't do the so-called appropriate thing with this. So, okay, so if I do that, then I think we're good to go. So I can just return an okay like that. Okay, so, oh, you didn't update. Oh, I was really hoping this would update. So this is going to be a create an API, and you're going to be update an API, which means all of you are going to be upset too. So we have save your create an API. I didn't do a save in here. Okay, so creating API, change the name, update an API. I want to Get. I can get the one. It's like so we have create author, new random, new get from API. Okay, so these are like new get from API. I want to sort of like reload from API. Might as well do that down here. Now I know this API works, so I don't need to do the entire status thing. I could do a response. Might as well just do this in multiple parts. How did I forget an equal sign there? Okay, so I get the response out of there, and then I want to self dot saved is now going to be equal to response dot JSON Is that going to work? Maybe. Okay, so then reload from API. Okay, so reload from API. I don't have to do any of this stuff. So create an author. This. Get that. Load after the update. Okay, so I want to assert that the new author dot name is equal to the new author saved unwrap data unwrap name. Okay. We have a ton of errors that we need to now fix. So fun times, right? The trait bound clone is not satisfied. Okay, so the type is not implemented for author. So where does author come from? Where do I have author here? There's author. Oh, and then book. What? Nope. X. Okay, there we go. Now we're happy. So let's run our test. You're failing. What? Okay. Cannot move out of self.saved, which is behind immutable reference. Okay, so that's I thought I would have. Okay, that's sort of what we figured. We need to do multiple clones in here, or we can do an as ref, because I'm just getting the ID. I can't do that. Cannot move out of shared reference. Consider calling as ref or as mute. So saved as ref, unwrap data. Oh, okay. So I have to do as ref again here. Yeah. Okay, so now you're happy. Let's run the tests again. You're happy. You're now failing. Missing field status at line 1. Okay, so what's create an author, update an author. Okay, so create an author, standard out. Error decoding response body, missing field status. So, okay, when I create the author in the API, it's not returning the right things. Okay, so I guess another good reason of like consolidating all those things together is now I can make sure that my responses are actually consistent and I'm getting what I expect out of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go to routes, author. When I'm creating the author, I want to return. So this is just doing input into response, which is, I guess that's fine. Status code created, JSON, but I don't want to do author. I want to do response object, new OK. With the author. I need to be some. And new okay. Ooh, see, like this is 200 else 404. I could do new created and then not be, because I have no idea if this is like anything else really. I think this should be new created. So function new created, take data. Oh, you don't have to do an option JSON, right? So you're just JSON. Return a self. Our status is going to be 201. Our data. Error is a none. Okay, created. Okay, so create author is that. you're happy. All right, so now we only have one failure. Yeah, now we only have that one failure, which is our update, which we're getting that 405 because we don't have a route for it. So let's fix that. Which actually we already know where to go for this. Go router author and an update. All right, well, we know we need database type stuff, so we might as well take in the state. It's gonna be state app config. We know we want to take in the author coming in, so we want JSON. Might as well be a new author because it's the entire updated one. I'm gonna rename this though. Instead of new author, this is update author. Okay, we consumed the body with that JSON, but I think that's okay. We're gonna return a result, and I suppose what we could do is we could into response. Can I do into response for both of them? So I want to do into impl, right? Impl into response. Impl into response. Throwing it to do. Type annotations. Okay, you'll figure it out eventually. Hey, Sylvie, you're here. How you doing? Oh, you gave me the little burr because you weren't expecting me to pet you. All right, so yes, I know you're upset. You'll be fine. It's like one of the few times that to do doesn't work. I want like okay. Does that work? No. Oh, can't figure out what E is. Okay, well, you'll be fine eventually. All right, so for our update, I want to actually do the update in the database. So that's a query, isn't it? We want to go and do the query thing. I want author queries will have an update author. Okay, so we'll have a DB here, and then we need the author ID, which is an I32, and the only thing that we can update is the name. And we're not returning anything, so this could be just empty like that. We'll return an error in case there's, an error. Okay, so what are we doing for this? I need to get the author, don't I? First. And then we can update it, and then we hit save. Now that's 2 database updates. So it's not quite as good as like going out and doing it, but it also is like that. The power of ORM gives us that. Like it makes things a little bit slower because we're doing more database queries. I generally find that that's usually okay until we start getting really big, and then you want to start thinking about consolidating some of your queries together. So we'll just get the model right now. Do let our DB author equals so we want we're gonna find by ID author ID. Now I don't care about the books at this time, do I? So we're just gonna get one right now. I don't need to get everything else. I handed that DB. We'll await question mark you. Now, interestingly enough, if we don't find one, how do we want to handle this? Do we want that to be an error, or do we want that to pretend everything was just fine? Okay, so we're going to get the sum DB author out of this. Otherwise, we're going to have to return something based upon what we've been doing so far. We're going to make this be a 200 success, but then we have to like have the error object inside of it. If we have an error object inside of that, I need some kind of like error response out of here. I could bail with a specific message. I can't remember if I can get this message out later. I hope so. Let's find out. So we'll do not found. Okay, so that gives me the DB author. I want to now convert this to an active model. Into active model. I then want to set. Does this have? I think this has to be mutable, doesn't it? I want to set the name. So active DB author. Set it to be to the new name. And then we want to save this. And then we can return OK at the end. Do we not have set? Okay. Is it CRM set? I thought it was CRM something else said. Oh, you want to be a string. Okay, fine. It'll be a string. Okay, so you're happy in here. So I have my update author there. I want to have my state app config. Let's call the thing. So we're gonna match on this. We're gonna match our API. What was this called again? This is update author. Whoa, nope, stop. Update author. You don't. I don't want to call it that, do I? What was this? Author queries. Update author. We pass it in a reference to state.db. The author ID. Oh, we need the path. That's what it was. The path. Okay, so path ID. It's path I32. ID and then the name. So that's going to be the update author dot name, which is a string. Okay, so if we get okay, we get nothing at all, and we want to handle that. So we want to return something. So in this case, we want to return an okay. Response object. Now this is new okay, new created. Now if I do new okay, if you're, I want to do, if data is none, it's a 404. Okay, so if I want to do, okay, another one. So pub function new okay no content. So this takes nothing. Status 204. Data's a none. There's a none. Okay, no content. Oh, and I need that to be, this is also a tuple. Okay, so okay with that. If we have an error, now I want to see, can I get what the error is out of here? Guess you decided the HTTP status codes make no sense. You're just yellowing at the set. No, I'm not yellowing. No, error no content is fine for this one because I'm not sending anything back. Oh, are you talking about? Yeah, it's I guess in that case I should send nothing back, right? Yeah, hold on. That's a good point. I don't need to send a response object. I just send no content. Yeah, that's good. I was in the mindset of like, oh, it needs to be all part of that thing. He's like, no, it doesn't. There's no content. Nothing is sent back. Okay, we're fine. Thank you, Stacking. Keeping me honest. Okay. Error. Can I get what this error is? I don't even know if I'm gonna get an error out of this. I don't know how to force an error besides like, because if I kill the database, that's not gonna be an error here. Oh, we can purposely send something and try to get it that doesn't exist. That would force this error specifically. So I want to do a tracing. I mean, I guess error. So error dating author. Now, I don't know if there's like an error.message or not. And if we get here, now I want to return an error. Status code. So this one would probably be the object, right? So this is going to be an error. Status code. Internal server error. Response object. New internal error. And then with the message being okay, so there's no field message on the type. Can you tell me? Not really. Okay, so this is so I think it's a report, right? Yeah, this error is a report. So I could try root cause, because that might work with the bail. Maybe. Message is actually creating a new one, isn't it? I suppose in this case I can create my like a custom error. We can take a look at what root cause is, though. I'm curious about that. So, root cause. And you're all super unhappy. Great. The trait bound request as code types response object is not satisfied. The following other types implement trait into response. Did I okay, so oh, this is a tuple, right? Oh wait, is it tuple? Is it no? Is it upset because it's not exactly the same thing? I mean, so what if I update you to be I want you to be a tuple with a status code and a response object and nothing inside. Oh, then you're fine. Okay, fine. Be that way. You're running, which means I can now update author. So we need to go to the router. Okay, so for this route, I want you to become a put. And instead of get one author, you're going to be update. Update author? What? No. Okay, I should have brought that in first. Okay, so now you're upset here. Now what? The trait bound, state config, and then path. Oh, wait, no, we have the path. JSON, impl future output, result. Okay, that is not satisfied. Following other traits. Okay, so you're not. Now, I am grabbing this at the end. It is async. Grabbing state at the beginning. Path exists. When I'm doing get one, did I do path the same way? It is path the same exact way. So I think that's fine. JSON at the very end. Result. I mean, we can see if changing this has an effect, but I can't imagine it would. But this is just going to be a status code. Yeah, okay, so this is still the same error. Is it because of the response object with nothing inside? Maybe. It's anything that implements. I wonder if I can just do into types. That's the API, reload from API. Wait a second. I wonder how silly it would be for an empty type for something like this, where I do pub struct. So basically, response nothing, empty response. So if I do that, can I do that and do the serialize? Oh, you're still okay. So that wasn't the problem. So it's one of the big issues that I have with Axum is these errors are not really helpful. Okay, the trait bound function Axum extract. Okay, let's just go to the real one. The trait bound function state app config Axum extract path I32 Axum JSON create author JSON to future output result status code or a tuple of status code and response object empty response router author update author handler is not satisfied. The following other types implement this trait. Do I have like another put somewhere? No, so I have routing put like that. Oh wait. Why are you Oh, requires by a bound introduced by this call. Okay, so update authors, that's the function. It's very similar to the other ones. Now, if I change you with a post, okay, so it's the same thing. So that makes sense. So there's something that I did wrong here. Let's see. You have state. I could try this again. We'll do it. We'll try this again one line at a time and see when it breaks. So pub async function the author. Should have done this to begin with, but I was lazy and thought I would just have everything work right away. So of course it didn't. So we'll start by bringing in things, right? So we want state. That's our app config. So every time I make a change, we're gonna hit save, and we're gonna make sure that it keeps on compiling. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's fine then. So it's something with the result. All right. Well, I guess technically I might as well do all of you. Okay, so if you're okay, your status code that. Let's do. We'll do status code, status code. Okay, you're happy with that. So status code, no content, internal server error. Now, if I update you, so status code, and then, oh, did I forget? I forgot the JSON. Arrgh. I keep on doing that. That's what it was. I forgot the JSON for response object. Empty response. That's what it was. So error. That's what it was. Okay, so the error messages are, I'm not a fan of them. And I think a lot of those error messages are due to the heavy usage of macros. So forgetting to put the JSON around this. So I needed a JSON around this result type and then JSON around here. I forgot to do that. And it's pretty easy to like debug. It's just tedious. And if you write a whole bunch of stuff and it doesn't work, that's not great. Okay, so we have our update author. Let's see what this error message looks like. I don't think I have, let's see, I have Rapid API. We can use that, which I can't make you big, unfortunately. So we'll go to a put to localhost 3000 authors slash, I don't know, bunch of numbers. I don't need any token or anything else like that. Body, we're gonna do name is gonna be whatever, it doesn't really matter. We get a 500 error updating author. Error updating author not found. Okay, so we get this not found here. So what I want to see is can I match on the not found? It's a string, isn't it? I guess if we do if error dot root cause equals not found, then I want oh shoot. Okay, so this is gonna be a 200 okay. All right, so this is gonna be interesting. So inside this, we're gonna return an okay. No content then. So status code. No, it would be a 200 okay. So hold on. Let's try this. So 200 status code okay. Don't forget the JSON. Oh, but it can't be an okay. Ah, okay. So this is where the 404 would actually work. But I can't do that. So 404 would work with this, but I guess we'll just do status code wait, this does do status code. I can't also send the thing out, can I? Unless I update you to do, instead of status code, we do impl into response. That would let me do this, wouldn't it? Okay, status code okay, and then JSON response object new okay none. Otherwise, you're an error that we don't know what you are, and I can just put the error in here. And that's what we're returning. You mismatch types expected struct request status code. I wanted to do into response. Oh, but it wants to be like the same thing, doesn't it? Oh, because like into response, but like these are not exactly the same things. Blech. Scott, hello. Your dogs have a clean bill of health. Well, that's good. Sorry it cost that much money, but at least they have a clean bill of health. That's excellent. Stream is going okay. Do I need to Do I need to do early returns here? No. Okay, so hold on. Oh, you're not happy. Oh, so root cause gives me this thing, which doesn't let me have... Oh, 2 string. Into 2 string. Type constructed contains status code due to type mismatch types. Expected struct request status code found tuple. Oh, your sister-in-law is the vet. You get a family discount. Oh, and it's still... Oh. I'm sorry, but also still good that clean bill of health, but also, ooh. Pets can be expensive. It's one of the reasons I don't have a second cat to hang out with Zilby. I really want to get one, but they're cats, like getting an initial cat, yeah, that's not too expensive. But keeping them happy and healthy can be expensive if I do it right. I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to like just never go to the vet or get really bad food or anything else. So I'll end up, I'm going to get them a cat as soon as I can actually afford it. I know. I want to. It's just, it wouldn't be fair to the second cat or to Zilby because then their food quality would go down quite a bit, which would then cause more problems long term. Okay, so your mismatch type expected struct request. Wait a second. What? I want that status code. Why was it request status code? Expected struct Axum HTTP status code found Axum HTTP status code Axum. Yeah. So JSON. Oh, because it's an OK and the OK doesn't have the other thing. I can't do that. I have to do an error with this one. So, but that might be okay. I need a return statement. So let's fix that. All these. So your errors, mismatch types again. Cat food is not that expensive. For me, cat food can be expensive, but I'm getting him like good cat food. So I don't want him to end up having can't do like dried food is really bad for cats. So, and like or you can get like the dried food you can get is like dehydrated food, so you have to rehydrate it with water. And that's not really that much cheaper than like really high quality canned food. So that's just what I get. It was really shocking to learn like how they make dried cat food. It's pretty horrible. That's where dogs are cheaper. It's been a long time since I've had a dog, so I haven't looked into dog food at all. I would guess so. Cats like internal biology is pretty like has a lot of requirements. Like you can't just feed them anything. They have to be meat. Can you just go to a butcher for some raw meat for the cat? So I could, but there's a enzyme that cats absolutely have to have, and if you give it to them, it's like I looked into this. You can buy the enzyme in in like raw dropper form, and I can add it to his foods to like give him that. So I could just go to the butcher, get some raw meat for the cat, add the enzyme in. But if I do it too little or I do it too much, it can hurt Zilby like really badly. So it's dangerous. Like every time that it's like, oh, you can like just create your own raw food and all that stuff, there's it's always like it's really, really, really dangerous. So the way, theoretically, the way to do it is to go in and get high quality things from the like meat parts, including like the liver, and there's some other parts that will have what they need. And I forget what that enzyme is called right now. Okay, so feral cats survive. Taurine, that's what it is. Thank you, Nine Names. Taurine is the name of the enzyme that they need. And if you just go and you feed them meat, they won't get taurine because taurine is only created in the liver. Is it liver or is it also like some of the other organs? So feral cats survive because they eat the liver out of animals that they catch. Hopefully they eat the liver. If they can't find the liver, they will die a slow, horrible death. It's pretty terrible. And so if you feed cats just pure food, they will not survive long, and it will be very, very bad for them. So cat food, like official cat food, has the appropriate amount of taurine in it for you. You don't have to calculate, you don't have to do anything else. And so that's just what I do. Fun fact with seafood, most cats are desert cats and don't react too well to seafood. Zilby here, I don't know if he's allergic, but he doesn't react well to seafood. It gives him stomach issues. So we don't give him very much. It's a treat. He loves it. Well, like every once in a while, I'll give him a little tiny bit of raw salmon, like just teeny tiny amount. I don't know. I got scared because we tried doing that one thing, and then I noticed that his tail wasn't able to stand up straight, and that was a taurine problem, and that scared me off a lot from any kind of like doing our own raw food stuff. So that's the reason why like I haven't done it anymore. Maybe sometime and again, I can try again, but probably not for a while. Oh wait, I have semicolons. Okay, we're happy. Tests are passing. Excellent. And if we hit this again, we get 200 okay with a 404, which is what I wanted to see. So there we go. All right, so let's Everything's passing. How is everything passing? Clippy, who is this? You can't be happy. Okay. Now you're happy? All right, so we are testing that we can update an author. Okay, so next up, after update author, I want to associate an author with a book, which means I need to create a book. And we have a book already. But I probably want to do something like create a book. And then associate the author, create a book, associate the author with a book. And we're good to go. Okay, so how is this gonna work? We're gonna create an author, create a book, associate author with book, check that author is associated with book in database. That's what we want to do for this. Okay, well, create an author is pretty simple. That's create author, new random. And we'll create an API, await, and there we go. Okay, so we've created the author. We want to do the same thing for book now. Okay, so I have types in here. So I'll do a create book too. So maybe instead of like create book, I'll do like a test book or something like that. Hub abstract test book. All right. What do we need for books? I guess like first of all, we have the book that we're getting back from the database. So this is I guess we call this the API book, which would be an option because we don't necessarily have it, and a book from that. Okay. After that, we want these things. And I want to ignore you. Okay, so skip API book, but serialize all of these things. So I can create a new random for this. Don't I have thread RNG? I do have thread RNG. I just have to apparently go down and grab it from Rand. Okay, so that gives me that. We're gonna have the API book is gonna be a none. Name. Okay, so the name is gonna be the alphanumeric. What was it? Was it like sample? Sample string. Okay. Sample string. RNG. And then the length, I guess the book length will just have this be 8 characters. That's fine. That gives me you. Price. This is a U, I think. Oh, it has to be an I-32, but we want this to be a U. So we'll do an rng.gen range. Let's make this between 0. Okay, what is it? It takes a range? A range. What is it, like 0 to something like that? That's why he couldn't give me anything. Okay, range. Why didn't you work? Oh, is it because you don't know what the type is yet? That might be what it is. Okay, so we have price and then in stock. Can I do like RNG? There's a Boolean. I think I do random, right? Like RNG. Gen. Oh, gen bool. There it goes. Okay. pub. Okay. Oh, and then you want this thing, which is a probability P of being true. So the probability P of being true, so like one half, 50, 0.5. Wait, this method, okay, hold on. Oh, I don't need the RNG. I just need the probability. Okay, so that gives me this. New random. Okay, so now I've created a book. I want to, and I want to save, I want to actually save this to the API, which I don't know if we have that yet. So that'll be something we have to do. Okay, so for this, I'll do our URL. We have our base URL already there, so I can already serialize self for that, so I just want to do a post now. I need the client. Okay, so serialize self. It skips that top one, should be fine. That way it won't like create something weird. Self, send you. Okay, make sure that you're 201. Then we want to get the response object out and then stuff that locally, which should be fine. So then we want to do self, our API book. It's gonna be an option already. So it's not gonna be. I think that's gonna be fine for a book. Let's do response data. Okay, so I want you to be a response object with a book inside. I guess I want to assert that there's no error, but I guess if it's a 201, we're good to go. So in that case, I just want to stuff this. I just want to stuff this in. So we're gonna do self dot API book equal to response data dot data, and we're good to go there. You need to be an async. Okay. Okay, so new mutable. That, and then we new book. Then we create an API, we await, and question mark you. Okay, so now you're created in the database as the book. Okay. So associate author with the book. Back to types again. This will probably be a type inside of create author. Do I need to do that? I don't think I need a mute self. I can just use this as a reference to self because I won't be updating anything, will I? And I'll take in a reference to a book, to a test book. So we need the author ID. Okay, so we'll get the ID out of there, and then I need the book ID. Oh, you don't have an ID. Well, we need to fix that. Yeah, if I'm taking this from there. Okay, so pub ID is 532. Okay, so then I get the book ID out. Okay, so associate book, author ID, book ID. Then I want to call an API call to do the thing, right? So then it's URL. So this would be essentially, I want to go to book authors. That's gonna be interesting. So how do I want to do this? I want to go to book authors. I want to get the appropriate ones, right? I can pass this in as JSON. So book authors. I guess this will be a post to book authors. That'll be that. I need a type in here for this one, don't I? Okay, so for various types, so you have book and I have author here. I want a book author in there. Okay, so this is gonna be book author request, right? Or maybe like create book author. Okay, so what do we care about? We care about the author ID and the book ID. Just those two things. That's, I think, all I need right this second. Okay, so book. So create book author. I will have the author ID, book ID. Okay, so that gives me that. Oh, I'm sorry. Then I think we're ready to make the request now. It needs to be a post, so we need to get the client. Okay, so we get that. I want to make sure that this is a 201. Okay, so I want to make sure that's a 201. And then after we have associate, okay, so after it's created, I guess I don't really care, right? Like, hey, you did the thing, and so we're good to go at that point. Then I return okay. We have associated the book with the author. Okay, so next up would be I take the new author, associate with book, and a reference to new book. Okay. And then check that the author is associated with the book in the database. This is probably the more interesting thing. Did I create the relationships for this? I don't know. That's a good question. So we have entity authors. So I have related. Oh yeah, no, we totally do. So what I can do is I guess we can just get a query for this one item. And it will be fine. But also to make sure that we have the relationships up, because to make sure that we have the relationships up, I could do the query and then get all the associated. I can reload. I can just do the get, right? So I want new author. Reload from API. That does a get for that one author. Then we can reach into the author and see if they have this book associated with them. So so this is the author book. So this is going to be a little bit of travel here. So we're going to go into saved, unwrap, data, unwrap, books. Okay, so if I just go to that, I now own, and I'm okay with owning this at this point in time and taking ownership because I'm not using this afterwards. Like we're done and releasing it onto memory. So that's gonna be fine. Okay, so I have the author books is a vector of book. So first check here is I want to know how many books they have, right? So I want to assert equal, no, I want to just assert that author books dot length is greater than 0. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is I want to make sure that that book is the same as the book that we're expecting. So, in fact, I should probably check to see that your length is only 1. And then I want to assert equal that the author books position 0 is exactly the same as new book API book unwrap. Okay, so when I'm creating in a test here, I'm creating this within. Oh, this is expected author with an ID. Ooh, but I don't know what this is, do I? I don't know what the expected book would be. It's like if I set this to be 1, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work out for me. Okay, we got a 404 when we're trying to associate author with books. That makes sense. But we got a left does not equal right for those books, which makes sense. Because we don't know. Well, actually, wait. For those ones, we might actually know what they are. Oh, for those. Okay, those are the preset books. We know what IDs those are. That'll be fine. Okay, so ID unpublished is 1. So hold on. Unpublished is 1, right? Free book is 2. Did I create 4 books? Okay, now I need to go. We need to go take a look. Oh, I don't have much time. Okay, so free book is 1. So hold on. Free book is 1. Expensive book is 2. And unavailable book is 3. Okay, so if I rerun you. Okay, perfect. Associate author with book is the only one failing, and it's failing because of the 404. Right in time for me to end today. Which means that I can run these tests next time and remind myself that now it's time to make everything pass and everything's going to be good. So you're good there. All right, so we are testing but failing to create association for book and author and push all of the things up that we did today. So let's see, what did we do today? We continue with our testing. We got the update working. So we did a major refactor and sort of cleaned up the test to make the test logic a little bit easier. And we put some of that logic in, like how to interact with the API, into the types files, which I think is fine. Let's see. After that, I don't know if we didn't really like clean too much up or do anything interesting there. So yeah, I think that's all. I guess that, and we prepared for the next test, which is associating a book with an author. So with that all being said and done, I think we're done here. It is Friday, which is always super nice. We were talking about having a good weekend. I am not streaming on the weekends anymore, so I'll be back on Monday morning, hopefully nice and sharp and ready and rested. And it'll be around 6 a.m. Mountain Time again. So it'll be a nice long stream. And we'll continue off with where we are right here. Thank you very much, Coffee Drinker. Have a great weekend yourself, too. And so that's all I've got. So with that, thank you, everybody, and have a good one. Bye.